Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Hyrule Chronicles, episode 24, this time hopefully with working technology. I am ArticulateT, the Game Master, and joining me today I have Alvarance playing Hikan.
Hello!
I have Renji, Heir of Nihilus, being played by TheNetherlad.
Greetings.
I have Rubber Pirate playing Ziden Shari.
Howdy.
And Max being played by Keastreth.
Hello.
Excellent. We currently do not have a Sho Daius being played by SteveTheSeregios because he is currently at work.
Work is monopolizing his time.
Yes. Last time we tried to record this, I was trying to do it on a new computer, but that new computer was full of gremlins and I didn't like them. They were freeloading bastards, so I kicked them out of the house. So we're going to try this again. So we're going to try this again. This time on my old computer, which I know works. And yeah, so who would like to recap what happened in episode 23?
Ooh, pick me. Ooh, pick me.
Alvarance, no, I'll go for you.
After the emotional events at the graveyard, the party members go their own way for a while. Hikan goes out to get drunk, Renji has an angsty breakdown, Max and Tarina go up for a stroll outside of Castle Town, and Ziden takes some time to tend to the poor and needy in the slums. The group eventually gathers together to answer some of Larson's Grave's questions. Minister Rickshaw fires them from the Simeon Rickshaw task force, and Nihilus Vox, Renji's father, offers them a new job. I think that's it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it on the nose. Nihilus had basically tasked you with saying that, well, he and Mara had a look at the symbol that was found at the graveyard when Simeon's life was taken from him, and he'd been helping research, and Mara's been trying to research, and they tried to get Zelish in on this, but sadly even Zelish had no idea where that symbol came from. It being a complete mystery, Nihilus had suggested to the group that there is a hermit that lives in the Firevine Forest north of Kakariko village, who might know or might be capable of generating some method of knowing where it might come from. And tasked them with going to find this hermit to find some answers. And we find ourselves back in Hyrule Castle Town, Nihilus having left you guys to your own devices after providing you with the mission.
Seeing my father disappear, Renji is just disappointed that he can't figure out how he does that. And by that, I mean disappear into shadows.
Can any of us try to determine how he does
I
that?
believe we tried last time.
We tried and failed.
Well, if we gotta go on a trip, we should probably get some things and get off Mr. Dickhead's property.
Good idea. Let's just leave the Nobles District. I need to go to home. Well, the castle. I'm waiting to get something that's only going to be ready tomorrow, so I'm not sure leaving sooner than that would be a good idea, at least for me.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Guess we'll go get shopping done then.
Shopping.
Shopping.
Shopping to do. Let's see. I have some money.
I mean, I've done my shopping personally, but it's just that the order takes a while.
Can't think of anything I want to shop for right now.
I believe that...
Oh wait, yes, no. Ziden will turn to Max and say, "We're going to get you some actual clothing."
What?
I know where there's a tailor.
Taylor.
Hikan, lead us to the tailor.
A tailor was a person who bought furs from me. And they had all sorts of clothes in there. I don't know if they're related, though.
Okay.
But it's right up the street from Sebastian, and I wanted to ask Sebastian about some healing potions, so we can go that way. That sounds great, and I will lead Ziden and Max to crossroads cross-stitching.
Like, they're doing the anime dragging Max by one hand.
Terry just follows you guys with a big smirk on her face, like, this is just fantastic.
Max is just like, but I'm wearing clothes.
Oh dear. So you guys head in. So you, as a group, head to Crossroads Cross Stitching. Renji, you head back to the castle. We will do Renji's thing first, since it might be a bit shorter with the one person there. So
I'm not sure if I want to do anything in particular. But actually, with this happening, I wouldn't mind just joining the others.
Okay.
Since the only thing I need to do at the castle is wait for my armor, which is going to take a day. So
that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so you make your way through as a collective. You make your way through the busy streets, passing through the noble district, and heading south. Yeah, heading south through the western residential district, and eventually find yourself at the very edge of the commercial district, where you find yourself before the very humble-looking building that has Crossroads Cross Stitching. Out the sign nailed just above the door, and inside you can see the piles of linen and the previously finished shirts and other bits of pieces of clothing. And amongst them, as you head inside through the door, you see the athletic-looking Ike just kind of sitting down, still threading a piece of cloth, and a kind of really fairly bored expression on his face as he does. Looks over and says, "Oh, yes, it's you lads. Welcome back. How can I help you today?"
This guy, and I point to Ziden, wanted to buy this guy, and I point to Max clothes.
Specifically something to look slightly more
Not
stylish. Yeah.
Max is giving you the most withering look right now.
He kind of just like his eyes look over to Max and kind of reads the expression. It's like, are you sure he wants the new clothes? I mean, I'm all for doing it. It's just I don't want to.
Yes, he wants them. And Ziden gives the very much. You're going to have this, and you're going to like it.
There's a moment where Max, like, he opens his mouth to like try and weasel out of this, but after a very loud sigh, just.
All right.
Fine.
Well, let's have a look. See, and he takes out a pad of paper and puts the pins down and pushes it gently to one side, and takes out like takes the measuring tape or measuring rope at this point from his from around his shoulders, and kind of hops up. He's fairly tall. Like you would expect someone like this to be more or less like a hearty adventurer type, but he wanders over.
I don't know. Most of the adventurers I know are incredibly tall, especially compared to Max.
Yeah. He wanders over and takes like glances you up and down, and then takes a brief note and says, "So you say." You say more presentable, I guess, for lack of a better term, but what any specific occasion? Just something to walk around in, or is it a formal attire, or what?
Do a lot of traveling.
Okay, so something a bit sturdy then. All right. Let's see. Any preferences on colors?
just looks out over the rest of the shop and then just says, "Blue."
Blue. Alright. Okay. Let's see. Any specific insignias that you wanted on it?
No.
No? Alright. Okay. If you'd be so kind as to put your arms out.
Why?
I need to take your measurements, otherwise I'm not going to be able to make clothes.
Fine.
And he kind of takes the measuring rope and kind of measures your arm.
If at any point one of his hands gets too close to either Max's shoulders or his back, Max will recoil immediately.
Okay. There is a moment where he does that at least once, but then he recoils himself as he sees you flinch and says, "Oh, sorry," and then kind of keeps his arm keeps like half a foot space between himself and you, as he takes the measurements. And pauses a moment after everyone to think about whether or not he's making the right estimate. Writes everything down, does the same, and says, "Right, I think I've got everything. Let's see. Any specific fabrics? Cotton, silk, linen?"
I don't know the difference.
Turns to Ziden. Anything?
Anything sturdy.
Anything sturdy, right. Okay, so materials, cost of work. If you're willing to pay 2 gold pieces, I'll be able to try and get this one sorted by tomorrow morning.
Ziden will nod and hand him 2 gold pieces.
Okay. He gladly takes the gold. Takes like a different sheet of paper and then really kind of roughly draws on it. Or better yet, actually, he goes to the one below the pad, in the pad that he's done, and then just kind of scribbles the pencil over it, so it has the sort of... makes the whole page kind of granite, but except for the bit where he's already written on the previous page, and and then writes the bit on the bottom saying, "You have paid this amount of money," and then passes you the receipt, effectively.
Ziden will tuck it away into his bag of holding.
That'll be your ticket to remind me which thing I need to pick up when you come back and grab it. But I'll get to work immediately on that. Anything else that I can help you with while you're here?
Well, there is one thing.
Mm.
Renji had been standing at the door mostly. Renji's still wearing his breastplate armor, and he says, "I'm looking for padded underclothes for similar armor. I'm getting a new set, and I would like it to match my cloak." Showing him the black and silver Sheikah cloak of protection.
Okay. Let's see. So padded under armor, is that just a normal padding, or is it a full-on gambeson, or
just padding.
Just padding.
Don't need a gambeson as it's half plate that will cover most of the vulnerabilities.
Okay. So he scribbles that one down. Then he kind of moves over somewhere and kind of looks through the piles of clothes and pulls out something which is basically more or less like a padded black kind of tunic sort of thing. It says, I have had a couple of individuals, mainly retired soldiers, coming in for something similar to what you're looking for. I have this. I have it in different sizes, though. If you want to see whether or not that fits you, and he like passes it to you.
I will laboriously start to take off my breastplate for a moment.
Okay.
And then try it on.
Okay. It's a bit baggy. We could do with some taking in, but otherwise it's okay. Like, it doesn't go too far past your hands, the sleeves.
Yeah. Well, that. I mean, the fit is not perfect yet, but
Okay. Well,
can
if
be
you
adjusted.
Can indeed, if you stand still for but a moment. And he comes over
Of
and
course.
like from a pouch, he takes a couple of pins and like does the usual thing where he pinches things together and puts the pins in, takes down measurements again. He's very methodical with what he does, and just kind of, but you can still see there's a very bored expression on his face as he goes through it, and it says, "Right, I think that'll do," and then carefully removes the pins before letting you take it off again.
Well, with Renji standing there, it's obvious that he's done this plenty of times before.
Yeah. Okay. It's kind of after you take it off and pass it back to him, he says, so I can probably get both of them done before morning. This one's going to be very easy to do. And he then turns to Hikan and Tyrene and says, either of you two need anything at all?
I'm good. I just knew like they wanted clothes, and last time I was here, I saw lots of clothes. So
It's very perceptive of you. And Tyrene says, "Yeah, I think I'm okay, thanks. What I'm wearing is good enough." And she kind of taps the armor on her shoulder. He says, "Fair enough. Well, as said, and before you go, he does the same thing. He passes you a receipt, Renji, and he says, if you come back tomorrow morning, I can provide you with the stuff. The refitting will be 5 silver, by the way."
I take out 5 silver.
Okay. He happily takes it, puts it into his pocket.
Actually, I take out 6 silver and say, good craftsmanship should be rewarded.
Ah, too kind, sir. And he puts it away and then puts the pad back on the table as well as the shirt that needs refitting, and says, well, thank you for coming. I suppose I should get to work, shouldn't I?
Perhaps.
Thank you. And
We'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. And he once again sits back down, prepares to work.
side note, every time like we were like durable clothes, like I kept wanting to just shout out double denim.
Double denim?
Oh boy.
Oh no. But yeah, so you guys head out of Crossroads, cross-stitching back into the busy streets around you. People going out. There is you do hear off in the distance from a nearby town corner a town crier relaying the recent news, as they do, of Lord Simeon's passing and other recent events. But yeah, you are now back into Hyrule Castle town proper.
I start heading towards Sebastian's because it's like, yeah, I'm gonna go see if he's got healing potions.
Okay.
I'm going to.
Okay.
Yes, go the same.
I think I'll stay with the group.
Okay.
Yay!
Enter.
All as one.
So you maneuver yourselves down through the streets, heading south and finding yourself before the ever familiar store of Sebastian's normal general store. ... Honest guys, and you see the clutter through the windows of all the things that he has for sale. And as you peer through the window in the door, you see your friend happily kind of waiting behind his little clerk desk, like fingers interlaced and presumably a smile. You can't tell. He's always happy.
Hello, Sebastian.
Oh, hello! And welcome back, my favorite customers.
Oh, thank you. I was wondering, because we're gonna go on a trip soon, if you had any healing potions.
Ooh, healing potions. You know, I might have some healing potions on hand. Give me a few moments. And he disappears into the back room. And you can hear like gentle clinking, clattering in the back storage room as he moves things around. Before long, he comes back and he has like a kind of like a milk crate, and just puts it on the thing, and there's very, very standard-looking bottles worth of bottles with this kind of kind of shiny, viscous red liquid in it, with a little wooden cork in the top. And he says, I have a few here. They're standard healing potions. Sadly, we don't have much of a variety, you see. This is more of a necessity that we buy from a different supplier, yes.
That's okay. How much are they worth?
Ooh, and he kind of picks through them, and let's see. He pulls one out and says, one red potion, that would be 50 gold pieces, if possible. I do apologize for the price. They are very expensive.
I understand. I'll take 3, please.
Oh, not a
Then
problem.
I would like one too.
Okay. And he methodically takes them out of the milk crate, providing you with a nice 4 bottles of healing potion, and just slides them to one side and says, there you go. That'll be 200 gold pieces total, 150 for you, and 50 from you.
And I slide him 5 platinum pieces.
Ooh! And he kind of slides them towards himself, and he doesn't even bother to count them. He just kind of gently puts them into his hand and puts them into like a belt pouch. And says, thank you very much.
I hope the denomination isn't too cumbersome.
Oh, it's fine. It's just that we are, as a general store, we don't get too many individuals who have a platinum on their person. It's usually gold and silver. It's definitely a more convenient, yes.
I'd like to travel light, and I currently do not have 50 gold to spare.
Oh, that's perfectly understandable.
Comparatively, Hikan puts a big pile of 150 gold pieces on the ground.
It's clunk. Ooh. He just kind of like uses both hands to pull it towards him. He's like, ooh. And he doesn't even bother to count. He just kind of like puts a hand on top of the pile because he doesn't really have anywhere to put it. And he's just like, thank you very much. Feel free to take your potions. Is there anything else you would like to purchase today?
That's everything for me today. Thank you, Sebastian.
Oh, you're very welcome. And he turns his gaze to Tyrina, Ziden, and Max. And says, would you like anything today?
I'm good.
I am also alright.
Tyrina Shay says, I'm okay. I'm perfectly fine, thank you. And he says, not a problem. Feel free to come back whenever you like, yes?
Yes.
And he nods excitedly. Which is, I imagine that the type of Lizzlefoss that Sebastian is, he's kind of like a crocodile sort of snout, so it's long and thin. So every time he nods, it's just really exaggerated at the end of his snout, going up and down. Yeah. I imagine him being animated like of his Ren and Stimpy cartoon when it comes down to it. But yeah, he eventually it does take him a while, but he managed to, in smaller piles, take the pile of 150 gold and just put it underneath the desk to be sorted later. But yeah, you have successfully acquired healing potions at Sebastian's normal general store.
Yay!
What's the plan now? Is it just to kill time until the evening, or until the next day?
I can't think of anything else.
Ziden will go for his plant growth thing somewhere, I guess.
Okay.
If we've got no more plans.
Yeah. There's a bunch of farming kind of settlements outside the castle walls who would very much appreciate the plant growthness. So
he's been trying to do it subtly, just sort of. Yep, he's here now. Suddenly, all the plants grow more.
Yeah. Because it's one of those things where it's like people expect it to take forever, so they don't really watch the fields 100% of the time. It's what the scarecrows are for, the non-animated scarecrows at the very least. And so it's like
it's like some cheesy advert where you're walking like along the path between two farms, and all the plants near you just suddenly grow bigger and more healthy.
yeah. That's great. So anybody doing anything specific to kill time until the next day, or shall we do a time skip?
I do kind of want to talk to Mara.
Okay.
Last time was a bit abrupt.
Okay. So you head over to the castle, and you head through the hallways into the library, and as reliable as ever, you see standing behind the desk, sorting through books, is Mara, who just kind of looks up and says, "Oh, hello, Renji.
Hello, Mara. Can we talk somewhere?"
She kind of looks around and says, I guess, sure. Where to?
Oh, just somewhere I mean, yeah, my room is a bit far off, but is there any place here we can just sit?
Well, and she kind of looks around and says, I think there's a reading room somewhere that, should be empty. Sure. And she kind of leads you through the hallways into this fairly brightly lit reading room. It's not terribly big, but it's just a nice place, and it has a closable door that you can just yeah, so she kind of heads in, turns around, and then kind of stands idly near one wall and says, so well, anything wrong? What's on your mind?
Renji's gonna sit down, resting his head on his hands for a moment. I heard you and my father are looking for whatever it is that it could be that, you know, with what happened with Minister Simeon.
Oh, yeah. The symbol, yeah. It's not something that I've ever seen before, and Nihilus didn't know anything about it, and we tried asking Zelish, but he was just as confused.
Yeah, I couldn't really believe that when Father first told me that. So I wanted to talk about yesterday. I'm sorry I scared you. I know I shouldn't have been in the library.
It's she kind of like heaves a bit of a sigh, folds her arms, and kind of wanders a little close to the table. Excuse me. And she says, "Well, if I will admit, it was scary. But you had your reasons. I mean, well, I wouldn't say reasons, but you were in a different mindset. You weren't really in the kind of... You weren't thinking straight, I guess. From the sounds of it, things have been remarkably stressful, and Simeon was a good man and a good friend, and his loss hurt everyone, or everyone that was close to him, and from what I understood, you guys were very close to him. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was a sense of fear or anger or sadness that you couldn't really place. It's I understand.
Renji just looks at the table for a moment, then turns to her. This is going to sound incredibly selfish. Could you please not mention this to Nihilus, to my father?
Sure. I think I can do that. And she nods and offers a somewhat reassuring smile.
Renji smiles as well, and thank you, Mara. I'll tell you about this, but not now, just yet. Later.
Okay.
Thank you, and I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's absolutely fine. Just take all the time you need to make sure that you're okay. And yeah.
Also, on a unrelated note, Renji starts standing up again. Do you have, is there any, a notebook that I can borrow? We're going to Kakariko for my father, and, I don't mind taking notes.
Okay. Sure. And she then leads you back out into the main library, back over to where her desk is, and she offers you a fresh pad of paper and a pencil. Says, here, we've got plenty.
Thank you.
No worries.
Thank you.
It's perfectly fine.
And Renji takes it and puts it in his bag of holding.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be leaving for a few days at least. If only for the trip there and back.
Okay.
Is there anything you need from Kakariko?
She kind of smiles a little bit and she says, well, I'm not allowed in, so I'm not exactly sure there's anything I would know about that I would like. But thank you for the offer, really.
There's probably some, Sheikah stuff I can get you.
It's fine. Don't stress too much over it. It's okay. I spend most of my time in here anyway. It's not like I have really the time to collect things or do anything specifically with things, you know? Yeah.
Fair enough. Take care, Mara.
You too, okay?
All right. Will do.
And she returns to her previous task of sorting things and filing things on the desk.
And Renji is going to go to his room, pack a few more clothes for tomorrow.
Okay. Excellent. Okay. Anybody want to do anything specific else, or shall we time skip?
Yeah. Max is going to head to Simeon's former house.
Okay.
I just realized something.
So you head back to Simeon's house. The guards are still on duty there. And as you approach one of them, says, "Oh, hello. Haven't seen you in a while. Is there anything you need inside the building? There's not much in regards to things."
I was actually bringing something back. I borrowed this from Simeon's library, and he pulled out one of the history books he'd been borrowing.
Oh. Very well. You may go and put it back, as it were. And
Right.
he kind of awkwardly opens the door for you and then resumes guard.
Thanks. Next, we'll head inside.
Head inside. The place is practically empty. Like it's definitely whoever. Like after the whole incident, the place has been practically cleaned out. There's no ornaments, there's no paintings or anything in the foyer. There is, you can see through one door, you can still see that the dining table is still there, and you can still see that the stuff in the drawing room is still there. But lots of the books off the shelves have been taken. There's no indication that any of the places have been damaged. It's just like, this is a major investigation. We need to apprehend everything just to be doubly sure. As you kind of head through to the library, you see that half the books are in fact gone. Yeah, everything's just kind of eerily quiet, eerily alone.
Gonna find the spot where I got the book from and throw it back.
Mm-hmm. You find it easy enough. Nice open spot on the bookshelf, just clunk, and just rests there, with the others which have gathered far more dust.
And he just takes a minute to stand there in the silence. Therefore, just sighing and leaving the building.
Okay. You head back out. The guards give a nod and say, take care.
You too.
And then they close the door behind you and resume their duty of standing guard for the house of a dead man.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else, or shall we time skip?
We can time skip. I just want to make note that given he said that he might want to get in contact with us to ask us more questions, I am writing a letter to Larson.
Okay.
Oh no.
Aww.
And I am planning on leaving it at the gate when we actually leave Castletown.
Okay. All right then.
I sent a screen capture of it in the chat, so.
Would you like us to read it for the sake of
Please read it phonetically.
Okay.
For the chat at home, or for the people with the podcast there, it's supposed to read, "Dear Mr. Larson Graves, Lord Dick had fired us and lied about being sad about Mr. Simeon, and Mr. Renji's dad gave us a task in Kakariko. So we'll be there even though you said that you might have questions for us later. Please let Sho know where we are going when you talk with him. Thank you, Hikan." But Hikan can't spell worth a damn.
The words at least vaguely look like the words they're supposed to be. The copy editor in me is
You are consistent
yeah.
in your misspellings.
The copy editor in me is absolutely furious with you right now.
Oh, nice.
Look, the aspiring writer is absolutely mad at myself right now, so.
Aww.
But yeah, no, so I am writing a letter to Mr. Graves. Yes.
Okay. All right. So you write that letter. I get yeah, awesome. The evening passes almost without incident. You manage to find yourselves your usual places. If any of you frequent do any of you frequent a bar, specifically the Wasp's Nest, I guess, or any of you pass through it during that time, or no?
I can.
Ziden might go near the Wasp's Nest in that it's in the slum area.
Okay.
And I wouldn't mind getting a drink or five.
So both of you make perception checks for me.
Perceptions. That's a 14. That's not bad.
17.
Okay, so both of you managed to get decent numbers for it. Essentially, what happens is during two separate instances where you guys like wandered past or wandered through to get a drink, you overhear some of the other like the bar patrons talking about Leona. Mainly, they don't mention her by name. They just mention this short red-headed woman suplexing a guy through a table before leaving in a huff. And they mention one of them mentions that apparently she was accused of something at Lon Lon Ranch, which led to her firing, and that's made her very angry.
Was it violence related?
It was more. You can't tell. It might be, considering most things, but yeah.
Oh, so that's why she was fired or left. That makes a bit of sense now. And Hikan just kind of pauses and thinks for a moment.
Yeah. But other than that, the evening kind of passes without incident, and you find yourselves waking up the next day and going about your usual morning rituals. Did you guys? I'm guessing you guys had agreed on a meeting place if you all went your separate ways for the most part.
I'd imagine the East Gate.
Yeah.
Considering we gotta head east.
Or wherever our horses are.
Yeah, I mean, I need to get Pom from the stables anyway, but
Okay.
Yeah.
The rest of us have
Yeah.
horses too.
I forgot that I paid good money for horse.
Yeah.
Trying to remember the last place. You use the horses to go out the west gate, so you probably have to pick them up from there, then bring them back over to the east one. No, wait, no. You took them into the city because you had to carry Sho back when he was stoned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you pick up your horses easily enough. They seem nonplussed for the most part, but they haven't gotten acclimated to you guys yet. You've had 2 horse journeys with them.
I mean, Ziden at least has talked with his horse.
Yeah.
Ziden's talked with all the horses.
Yeah.
Well, all of them, yes.
But you go through this process. Renji, you pick up your half plate. Is it half plate?
Mhm.
It was half plate, wasn't it?
it is mithril half plate, giving me
Yes.
a standard armor class of 18.
Nice.
Hey, that means you meet mine.
And that's without my shield.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 20. Nice.
Yeah.
I'm sandwiched between his freaking armor classes.
It's fine.
Just gonna sit back here at 16.
Yeah.
Well, this is why I have spells like heat metal.
Yep. But also in the process
Whoa.
of doing that, you guys pick up
Careful now.
the clothes of others. You pick up Max's clothes and the refitted shirt for Renji. I'm guessing that the clothes that Ike provides for you, Max, are the ones that are in your artwork.
That with like a extra bit on top to cover his shoulders,
Okay.
because he's not showing that off yet.
All right. Awesome. And yeah, they fit perfectly fine. They are remarkably comfortable. Also
Yeah.
remarkably sturdy for what they are. And he
Double denim.
Oh god. But yeah, Ike is pleased to provide them for you and says that if you ever have any need to come back for any other clothing needs, he'll be happy to help. And then goes back to a project that he was probably subsequently hired to do during the process of you guys, after you guys had come in for that one. But you all meet up at the east gate, and you begin your journey to, or you prepare to begin your journey to Kakariko village, at least in that general direction. Yeah. And we'll change the music to something a bit more adventure bound. Let's try that one.
God, I hope that Larson knows who Renji's dad is.
I believe so, yes.
I think, like, most investigatory man in the city is probably going to know who Renji's dad is.
Yeah. That and his dad is head chef at the castle, so there might be a bit of an intertwine, but yeah.
If
I know, it's just I don't know Renji's last name. Hikan doesn't. Just met him and it's like, oh, he kind of looks like Renji. I guess he's Renji's dad. So Mr. Renji's dad.
Yep.
Oh dear. But yes, you head out through the gate. It's a fairly okay day weather-wise. Looks like the beginnings of overcast may. Yeah. So it looks like the beginnings of overcast might be fully overcast by about mid-afternoon at
Ziden
best
shall
estimate.
cast Druid cast and check what the weather will be.
It's going to be overcast for the majority of the afternoon, then it will rain in the evening, and then it will brighten up again for the following day.
Okay, I shall warn the others about the rain.
Okay. But yeah. You see before you the road stretching out towards the east. Let's see, is Lon Lon Ranch within 3 miles or so of... No, so you do not see Lon Lon Ranch on the horizon, for the horizon kind of ends about here for you. At least if I have my science right, it's like 3 to 5 miles that you can't see past the horizon anymore.
Something like that.
Yeah.
That's what they want you to think.
For a 6-foot-tall person, the horizon is a little more than 3 miles away.
Okay.
And we're on horseback.
Also, DM,
Yes.
a cloak of protection.
Yes.
Is it waterproof?
I'd be incredibly disappointed if it wasn't.
They have hoods.
I know they have hoods, but are they waterproof? Or is Renji going to continuously have to cast prestidigitation to keep dry during rain?
I wouldn't say they're waterproof in the same sense that like a Mac or like a proper raincoat from nowadays would be. It's like waterproof in the sense that leather is kind of waterproof, or
Okay.
yeah. So it's at least, I mean, yeah, the magic aspect of a cloak of protection does provide some level of waterproofing. But that doesn't necessarily mean that your sleeves or legs will be the same condition.
True, fair, and that's very fair. I mean, it won't get waterlogged. That's basically it.
You'll be fine. You won't like coming from the rain with your cloak of protection, and that's like 20 pounds because it's so full of water.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Also, cloaks in general are quite good at keeping rain off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of built for that.
True.
Okay.
But this is one is made for protection, so I was just wondering.
Yeah. Okay. So, you begin your journey along the Eastern Road, back along a somewhat familiar path as you as you have done. Last time you went down this road, at least for a little bit, it was to take on bandits led by Bruno the Boulder Thrower. But this time you follow the path far more diligently, and eventually, after about a morning's worth of trotting across and going about 11 miles down the road, you find yourself coming near Lon Lon Ranch. And those of you who have come from Kakariko or passed down this road will know Lon Lon Ranch. It's a fairly big establishment, at least compared to other ranches. There's a wide area where you can see a number of people riding around on horses, and you can definitely, you can see some buildings, lots of homesteads in different areas. And you know that pretty much Lon Lon Ranch is the go-to place, not only for milk for the most part, but also the royal family themselves have also been remarkably proud of the horses that they breed and train here. And as you come across it, did you guys want to stop in, or did you want to carry on? Or would you like
What time of day? What time of day is it?
It's about midday, or it's coming close to midday.
Could always go find out what happened with Leona.
I'd be willing to ask to kind of get an idea of what's going on to see if it was a misunderstanding, but we don't have to stop.
I must have missed something, but is this pertinent to our current task?
It was the angry red-headed lady that throws people out of windows.
Right, your friend at the bar?
Yeah.
Hmm. I see. Well,
We could stop on the way back.
I mean, I don't mind you asking around now and satisfying your curiosity.
Okay. It's gonna be a short trip.
There's a so you guys kind of break off the road and head towards the ranch. There's a wide variety, as I said, wide variety of buildings. You see a number of people who are kind of milling about doing their various chores. Though you do see a couple of people kind of crowding around one area and looking off into a particular area of the ranch, where you can see like horses are being tended to by some other farm folks. There's one instance in particular, one guy who stands out amongst all the others, and there is a tall skinny man with a long face, Hylian definitely, in kind of these black and gold robes, very, very stately, as it were, and he's having an argument with another man, a young man, and they're both standing next to this stallion, which the young man is trying very hard to kind of keep calm.
Max lingers back from the rest of the group. Don't want to spook the horse any more than it's already spooked.
As you get closer, you can hear this man say, "I have been here, and my lord has been here for 4 days, and I have not been given a suitable horse, and I expect you to do right by Lord Eisenfuhrer." And the young man's like, "Well, we're trying, but I explained before, we've had bandit trouble. They keep stealing the horses. I don't want excuses." And it just keeps going on and on.
Do we...
Very much entitled
Does
customer.
that name, Lord Eisenfuhrer, ring a bell?
Make a history check.
Gladly.
I got a 12.
17.
They haven't loaded.
Oh,
for
I
me
have
yet.
to reset. Yeah, they haven't loaded for me either.
Then I'm going to reload my one as well.
Same.
Yeah.
But I saw a 17 and a 20 in my
Okay.
history.
Yeah, my connection hasn't dropped, so that's
That
There
one.
is the 12 and 22 from Ziden. Just got that one in.
Okay, now I only see myself and Ziden and Art in the...
Oh no, the technical difficulties are back.
no.
Spender and roll 20.
But they're not my fault anymore. Yes.
not your problem.
You're absolved of responsibility.
I see the stuff coming back. Do I need to reroll?
Give me a sec. I've refreshed the camera at the very least. Hopefully my perspective will catch up in a bit, because I now also see the 12 and 22 that Ziden rolled. It's just waiting for the camera account to actually... There we go. So we've got everybody back on the camera one. There we go. Okay. Establishing server uplink. But we can at least see those rolls. So you said you got a 17?
17 and 20. So yeah, 17.
Okay, so with the 12, the name Eisenfar doesn't sound familiar. It's weird in a sense. Like it's definitely not a Hylian name, and it's definitely not a Sheikah name. With the 17, you think it might have some connotations with Dark Nuts? You think? That it's not 100% sure, but you think it might have some connotations with Dark Nuts.
Ooh, okay. Also, just a quick question. The horses of the royal family are from Lon Lon Ranch.
Most of them, yeah.
Is Palm from Lon Lon Ranch?
Roll a D100 for me.
A D100.
Yes.
Okay.
And hopefully this one comes up. Or maybe you rolling a D100 will jog things to make sure it comes up.
A 9.
A 9. Okay. Yes. Palm definitely seems to be of a breed that comes from Lon Lon Ranch.
Okay.
You have a top quality horse.
I keep away for a bit.
Okay.
Also, I see that on the stream the tabletop just reloaded.
Yeah. I am sad. Okay, there we go. But yeah. So yeah, you believe that the name has some connotations with Dark Nuts.
This might spell some trouble. And I'm probably staying a bit away with, like, Max.
Mm-hmm.
Is this an us problem, or?
I don't think this is an us problem, but given our track record, this can very easily become an us problem.
Right.
I hop off horse and start walking towards the people.
Okay.
If it's near to here, we could always help.
I'm sorry to interrupt your discussions, but I had a few questions of my own, and I understand that things are important, and so we'll address them in the order in which they are presented. So what seems to be the problem?
I love Khan. So as you approach and begin speaking,
just getting a headache now.
As you start speaking, like their dialogue stops immediately. The young man turns to you and is like, "Hi." At least that's the expression on his face. But the tall man in the black and gold robes slowly turns to you with an expression on his face that you have just committed the greatest indignity that you have ever done in your life, and he's just like. And you would be?
I'm a person. My name's Hikan, and I'm currently on my way to Kakariko village for Mr. Renji's dad, and we're gonna try to stop some pretty bad things. But I wanted to stop here to ask a few questions about a friend. But you were here first with your problem, so I was going to ask what the problem was, and I was gonna see if we could probably help on our way on our thing.
Looking over at Max, Renji just says, "I think I should step in."
Yeah, go ahead.
After
you.
People there.
You are more than welcome.
And it suddenly becomes an us problem. So the young guy goes, "Oh, well, I'm Ramon."
Oh, hey, Renji.
Hello, Hikan.
What's your dad's name?
Nihilus Vox protector
Oh.
of Princess Sophicia.
Yeah, that's who we're working for right now.
Oh, right, Royal get, and then the guy cuts in and says, "You are here to deal with a problem?"
Well, I was here to ask questions, but like I told you before, you were here first, so...
Very well. I am the herald of the great Eisenfuhrer, immortal knight champion, and I am here because we require a horse of top breeding, maybe more, in order to continue driving our chariot. But this man, and he just accusedly points at Raymond, who's just kind of like, I just what? And he's just like, and the herald's like, this man continues to give me false excuses in regards to bandits and horses being stolen. And I will not stand for it anymore. I expect your best horse tomorrow, else we shall take our business elsewhere. And
Have you investigated the claims? That's the word, right? Investigated? Investigate.
It's one
Eisenfuhrer
word.
does not have time to be meddling with petty bandits. It is below his
What about
pay
you?
grade. I'm not a combatant. I say the good word of Eisenfuhrer. I'm here on his behalf to negotiate for a horse. I am not here to be investigating for some bandit trouble. And Raymond's just kind
But
of
you
like...
don't believe, you believe it's false. You already come to a conclusion. I
Raymond...
don't understand.
Raymond like looks to you. Renji is like, "What the hell's going on?"
Renji just shakes his head for a moment.
Make a perception check as you kind of look at Raymond.
Okay. That is a 16.
Okay, you notice that just under his left eye, you can see that there looks to be like the telltale signs of what used to be a black eye. There's just the very hint of a mark just under there.
Renji's going to is going to dismount from Pom, and just step closer to Raymond and just ask him when that happened.
And he says, "Oh, right. Well, okay. So it's going to be a bit complicated, and it deals with the bandit issues that we've been having recently." And he begins speaking in a hushed voice while the herald and Hikan continue to have a shouting match. And it's like, "I believe they're false because they're just excuses, but I will not investigate them. It's not my job."
No, Hikan's like remaining calm and is just like, okay, well, I understand that, but you're really angry and riled up because you're not getting the horse you want, but you're claiming that they're excuses and you don't know how true they are. All I'm asking is, would you get in? Like, yeah, no, it's going back and
It's gonna go. So while Hikan remains calm and fairly inquisitive, like you can see the herald is just about to blow a gasket. His face is going from like the very pale it started with to very closely going to very deep shades of crimson. He's just
I
like.
gotta admit, I play D&D to get away from day-to-day life. So this is not good for me.
I work in a medical center. I know these types of people come in all the time. And but yeah, Raymond, he says, okay, so a while ago we started losing horses. Usually we'd do deliveries on foot from here to Hyrule Castle Town, or we'd go to Green Hills in the south, but technical difficulties. With you in a sec. This would be a point where we pause the recording. But yeah. 61 millisecond ping. Hold on. Let me see if I can change the region on this. Server settings. Western Europe. Let's try Central Europe and see if that does anything.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Great.
All right.
Everything sounds okay.
Okay. Resuming the recording.
That was probably a Discord issue.
I changed the server from West
Yeah.
Europe to Central Europe, so should be okay now. I hope at least.
Good.
But yeah. So as he was saying, he kind of goes on to say, we've been having bandit troubles recently. We do deliveries to different places. Hyrule Castle Town would be one of them, and then Green Hills to the south would be another one. But halfway down the road, we just have these people turn up and steal all our horses. And they would never get to their destination. And I got this because one of our older farmhands thought I was responsible and punched me in the face. She was asked to leave quite swiftly.
Hold that thought, sir. Was that Leona?
It's like I will not be ignored. And then Raymond just goes, "Yes, you know Leona."
Oh, I met her last night. We had a bit of a rough night, my party here ourselves, and so I went to go I went to go get drunk, and I met Leona at a bar, and it still seems that she was pretty upset about a lot of things. But yeah, so I just wanted to check on that. So it was a misunderstanding about who was stealing horses. We'll go ahead and address this again in a minute, but I'm trying to help this guy here. So I'll be with you in a second, and I'll go back to arguing.
Yeah. It's like, how rude, and just goes in that same pattern. Yeah.
So, Raymond, you saw these bandits, then?
Yes. And he kind of like manages to drag his eyes away from the hideous conversation that's going on over there, and pulls it back to you and says, yes. Typically, it's a mixture of Hylian and Bokoblin.
Okay, and you say typically. Does this mean this happened multiple times?
Yes.
Well,
Max has wandered over by now, and he just asks, "Do Hylians and Bokoblins work together often?"
If the Hylians are capable of convincing the Bokoblins to be cooperative, I guess, in a sense. We're making another delivery this afternoon to Green Hills. I'm overseeing it.
Where is that?
Green Hills is to the south. As he explains it, it is down here.
Well, we already have a task ahead of us. However, this task does not have a set completion date. And Lon Lon Ranch is rather important to Hyrule Castle life. I would say helping out this farmhand lies within our purview.
Oh, you did help. That's great. Thank you. And he bows his head.
How many horses they took?
We've tried when we first started experiencing this problem. There was we tried going in groups of 5 horses, but in order to make sure that we didn't get taken all the time, we reduced it a bit. We've gone down to 2 now. We've requisitioned a couple of guards to come with us this time, but yeah.
Okay, just another moment, sir. So we are helping them, or are we going on?
We're helping.
Okay, so We will do the investigation, and we will get down to the bottom of this, and when we figure out the solution and what actually happened, we will report back, and you can make your decision in the morning. Right?
Make a persuasion check to at least keep him calm.
To at
Here
least
comes the
keep
one.
him calm. To at least... Okay. Persuasion. I forgot to open my sheet after I refreshed. That's persuasion with my +1. A 5.
Yeah.
Perfect.
He kind of takes in a deep breath. And it's like, I will not be delayed any further. Eisenfer will be hearing of this. I swear it! And he storms off. Like, there's a dramatic flip of his robes, and he just storms off.
I will be more than happy to talk to Mr. Eisenford when he arrives. Well, that was a pleasant dude. He seems really passionate about his job.
Bit too passionate.
I'm not sure if that was the right call, Hikan. Do you know what dark nuts are?
Yeah, we had a talk about them when we were
Found some of the tracks.
yeah, when we found some of the tracks. Yeah.
Yeah, that might be a spokesperson for their leader?
Well, if he is a leader, then given the experience with leaders I have so far, there's a high chance he's willing to listen. Because Mr. Simeon listened, and your dad seemed to listen, and
You do know that
the king seemed to listen, and
the racist one is also a leader.
yeah, but he was like the only one dickhead that we met.
Yeah, think more like that.
There's also the fact that Lord Rickshaw is not exactly the fighty type. Dark nuts are very much the fighty type. Says Tyrina.
Yeah.
Well, so long as we get to the bottom of this, maybe we can stop a dark nut from being severely pissed off. That's an added bonus.
Shall we start heading that way now?
Sure.
Apparently we'd better.
Don't have much time.
Okay. All right. So we got our horses, and you said that you were gonna take 2 horses, and you had some guard. Yeah. Okay. That's a lot of horses.
Okay. And it is a lot of horses. Okay. So, as you arrive, or as you come to that conclusion, Raymond will give you the full details. They'll basically be leaving in the next hour. He goes and rallies the 2 guards that they've requisitioned for this one as well, and then fetches the 2 horses, which appear to be fairly well-bred riding horses. That they kind of tie, like they apply the bridles and stuff to them, and then each guard takes 1 horse, and instead of riding them, just walks along with them. And as you guys get on your own horses, Raymond's like, "Okay, we ready to go?"
If they're walking, I will also lead horse opposed to riding horse.
Okay.
I will be on top of Pom, reins in one hand, Rod Pact Keeper in the other.
Okay. Just gonna get rid of Sho in this one. There we go. Okay. So you make your you follow a for a moment it's an ill-trodden dirt path that kind of doesn't receive much traffic, but eventually for a brief period it changes into a purposely built cobblestone pathway, and it allows you to travel at least 8 miles to the south. And to be honest, most of it is kind of just very errant forest area. Like, it's not a full deep forest, it's just like trees every so often. Might have been a bit thicker, but it could have been logging or deforestation, that sort of thing. And as you progress along the path, how are you doing this this thing? How are you progressing? Are you going as a what's your marching order, I guess?
I would go somewhat in front.
Probably Ziden would be near the front as well.
There were some times when we would go out and hunt, and if things thought that people were in a big group, they wouldn't come and attack us. So should we keep people kind of hidden to see if the guys will come get us?
Sounds like a plan. I'll join the hidey guys.
Okay. Awesome. So you're going to be with the hidey guys. Tyreena's going to stick to the main group because she can't really hide. She also walks alongside her horse.
If we're close to it, do we think we're close to it now?
Let's see. You're fairly well traveled, so I'd say it's at your best estimate, Ramon's best estimate, you are approximately 10 miles away. So it's like at least another afternoon's worth of journey. Well, I see you won't stop for the night, but you'll be it wouldn't take too long.
All right. I want to know when we're, say, an hour out from the area.
Okay.
The danger zone.
The danger zone.
Okay.
Since I'm leading a horse, I will be with the guards and Ramon, I assume.
Because Ziden is going to suggest that when they get closer enough, he could transform into the biggest, most powerful horse he can.
Okay.
A stallion fit for a king.
Exactly. Perfect bait and also a trap.
Yes.
Suddenly the horses are there.
You thought it was a horse, but it was a bear!
It was
You thought it was a horse, but it was many bears.
And just making sure that the map is already set and going. Let's see. There's a lot of horses. There was a distinct lack of horses in the other group, so I'm not used to adding mounts. Oh well, it's fine. Okay, so let's see. As you're progressing down the road, eventually, you're Renji and Ziden. Since you said you were near the front-ish.
Yes.
Yeah. Somewhere down the road, you kind of you turn a corner, and eventually you see that a tree has been felled over the road. It's kind of lying haphazardly on its side, completely covering the road. And I will bring you to the map in which you have encountered it, and feel free to adjust your marching order.
Right.
I haven't given you control over the horses yet.
So, you'd assume this is the ambush point?
Essentially.
Just that way. Just stay aware of your surroundings.
Now would be a good time for my plan?
I think so.
Could Max have left his horse tied up further back along the road?
Okay.
He probably would have done that.
Okay.
Doesn't want to risk blowing his eardrums out with the lightning bolt or something.
So,
I'm going to be all hiding-y somewhere.
is bark skin like actually noticeable?
I would say
Because
so.
it says their skin has a rough appearance, but they're a horse, so they have fur.
Yeah.
It's very short course fur, though.
Yeah. I'd say for the sake of it being a magical effect, I would say... I'd say it would be noticeable.
Ah.
Yeah. Because I imagine with
try.
bark skin, it kind of like, not entirely, but makes them look kind of like Groot.
I'm gonna try and hide this way.
Okay. Make a stealth roll for me, please.
Maybe it would just be simpler to just be a bear when they turn up.
Okay.
Would that be a survival for like trying to see tracks or something going from it, or would it be like a perception check to see where people might be hiding?
I'd say survival. If you're
Okay.
trying to deduce it from a tracking perspective.
Damn.
Ziden would try and
That's
spot
a
tracks as well.
Mm-hmm.
For a 25.
Okay, so Hikan, you can't seem to find anything worth of note in regards to like stuff that can be used or places to hide, or I mean, you can have a look around and you'd be like, oh, I could probably hide over there or hide over here, because there are a lot of trees and rocks around at the very least, but you wouldn't know exactly where people would be. Ziden, this place feels very much like the optimal location for a trap. There's a plethora of trees with thick foliage. There's the road is kind of flanked either side with these risers that that people will be able to lie down and obscure things and have the higher ground in case they have ranged weaponry. It's this place has trap written all over it.
Can I try and spot any people with the very good survival giving advantage on spotting people?
Make a perception check with advantage.
26.
26. Okay.
One off a crit.
As you're doing your thing, you kind of you tilt your head to the side slightly. You can hear the rustling of branches in various different trees. You can see the flash of something in this tree, the flash of something in this tree, flash of something in this bush, maybe something over here as well. There's like a lot of spots.
Fair enough. Ziden will use his circle of telepathy, speak with Renji first, and basically kind of just point out all the points he noticed people. Then he'll repeat the same to Tyrina,
Okay.
and to Hikan, and the guards.
Yeah.
Not Max, because he's gone and hidden over there, so...
Yeah. I forgot to...
As Ziden does that, I just put a hand on my still very shiny mithril half-plate, and it begins to take on this frost pattern as I cast Armor of Agathis on myself.
Okay. Okay.
Hikan's going to play. I want to say play the idiot, but I mean, he's just kind of gonna shrug and is like, "Well, I guess we can't really do much until we get this out of the way, right?" And so I'm going to start heading forward since I've got all of these things that can help me not get hit.
Okay.
And, start heading towards the
If
the tree.
So probably dismount and ask the guards to just look after the horses.
Yeah. Okay.
Good thinking.
Tyrion dismounts as well. Draws her axe and theatrically says, "Yeah, I'll chop it up, make it easier to move."
Renji is going to lead
Perfect.
Pom back to the other horses
Okay, so like over here.
Yeah, just to make sure that like they're not going to be attacked from behind.
Okay.
Would you say that Tyrina is aiding me in a performance check?
Sure.
That's a 21.
Nice.
Ooh.
So you two head over to the tree. So what? So you've led Pom back a bit. Ziden, are you just gonna stand next to your horse, or are you going to move anywhere and prepare anything, or?
So I saw one in this tree and this tree, yes?
Yes.
Let's see. Probably just walk to be sort of central to go attack either one.
Okay. And Max,
Trust the guards to look after the horse.
Yeah. And Max, you're situating yourself behind that tree over there.
Yeah.
Okay. So Tarina
As soon
joins.
as I see an attack flying, I'm gonna respond.
Okay. Let's see. We're going to zoom out a bit more on this one. Although Mozilla Firefox seems to have stalled a bit, which is unfortunate.
Does that sometimes.
Yeah. It'll come out. There we go. Just kind of jerk itself awake. Okay. So, as you get to that point, Hikan and Tyrina, the attack that you totally didn't see coming is sounded. There is a horn blast from this tree here as bits of like what's the word? Camouflage and blankets of leaves and twigs are thrown to the side. And
Ye old ghillie suits.
Yep. And immediately there is a chorus of individuals. There is a group of individuals, or a group of Hylians, all of which have light crossbows. And then there is a group of bokoblins, all of which have javelins in addition to their normal melee weapons. And because you expected it, there is no surprise round. So I'd like everybody to roll initiative for me, please. So they've made themselves known now, so I'll put them on the map.
Oh, boo.
Oh yeah, that was the thing I wanted to end up getting on this weapon of warding.
Man, Renji, we suck today. We got
True
low
that.
initiative.
True that.
Okay. The carbon is a roll initiative. Yes, I clicked it. No character found selected. Okay. Submit.
Oh no, they all have ranged weapons? Let's see how many of them can actually hit me.
Alright, I guess I have to do this manually then. So, add 10. Roll 1d20 plus 1. So it's a 16 for the bokoblins. And then bandits. That one. No character was found for selected. What do you mean no character was found for selected? Okay, I guess Roll20's doing this today. At least it's not a game-breaking problem. They also have a +1 for initiative, and they got a 10. I'm just going to quickly test out an attack macro. Yeah, that works at least. That's good. Okay, let's see. Guards. I need to bring up their character sheets, don't I? Humanoid. Guard. All this lovely prep time. And there's still the one thing I forget. Cards don't work either. I guess it's just not going to be any NPC then. Grand. What's their initiative? +1. Who'd have thunk it? So they got a 14.
Go guards.
And then there is Raymond, who has a +2. And he gets a 4.
Damn it, Ramon.
Let's see if Tarina actually works. We don't have Sho, so I can close his character sheet. I don't know why I've closed Tarina. Aha! I'm out of practice.
I was about to say, well, what about my lovely co-lead?
She gave you such a great performance.
And yet you didn't luck out for at the Oscars.
Nice.
I think she did actually.
Never mind.
Okay. So,
She's definitely a winner.
after much deliberation and patience and everything, it goes Tarina, then Max, then the Bokoblins, then the Hylian guards, then the bandits. No, then Ziden, then the bandits, because NPCs go after players. Then Hikan, then Renji, then Raymond. And there is one other person that I need to add to the initiative order. Actually, no. Yeah, I think I've got everybody. Okay. So, Tarina, on her first turn, is going to identify the Bokoblin that makes himself known in this bush over here, and immediately just turns and tears over and swings her axe at it. Sweet. Getting a 22 and dealing 11 points of damage. It having that many hit points. So it survives the first hit, which is great. It cuts deep into the Bokoblin and then brings up the axe again to go for another swing. Alright. Dealing 16 damage this time, and then just kind of like first strike goes for hacks into the shoulder, gets down to the midsection, she yanks it out, goes for the same area and bifurcates the goblin from shoulder to hip. And the Bokoblin, and is just taking it down. Max.
I've got this guy conveniently right next to me.
Indeed you do.
Max is gonna bite into his staff and just roar a whole bunch of lightning at this guy into the tree for a 3rd level Dragon's Breath.
I'm not even sure they'll have the ability to actually withstand that. Let's see.
DC 16, dexterity saving throw for 20 damage.
Okay. Yep. So rolling a 6 on his dexterity saving throw, the bandit just kind of turns to see you, sees this sudden torrent of lightning, and with hideous screaming and pain, is just fried immediately.
I imagine the tree is also a little on fire.
Yes.
That's fine. Sometimes trees catch fire. Can I then, try and run up here?
Yeah, give me athletics or acrobatics, whichever's better.
Yeah.
So you kind of run over to the area. It's as short as it is, being around about it's quite steep. So you scramble at it, but you can't seem to make your way up it.
Damn it.
Anything else you want to do any turn?
That's it.
Okay. Bokoblins goes. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Bokoblins. So, this Bokoblin up on the ledge over here is going to pay attention to his orders. He's going to huck a javelin at one of the guards. Should only be one javelin. There we go. It digs itself into the dirt next to him. Just not finding any purchase. This one up here is going to hurl a javelin at Tarina, having seen her utterly destroy one of its companions. also missing. Just lands rather pathetically in the dirt next to her. Then these three are all going to aim and fire at Hikan.
Yes, please.
Okay, so first one.
This is gonna be fun.
Crit misses.
That's a good start.
It goes wide and tumbles on the stone next to you. The next one gets a 13, which you don't think hits your AC since you're a monk. So you kind of duck out of the way as it sails past and impales itself in the ground nearby. And the last one throws their javelin, only getting a 10, also missing you almost entirely.
Such a tiny violin is being played right now.
I'm sorry, they tried. They tried their hardest.
It's okay. It's okay. You still got some crossbow bolts to try and grab.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Then the Hylian guards, they're going to close in around. Well, one of them's going to go over here. They're going to try and keep the flanks protected on this group of horses, and they will take the dodge action. So they have imposed disadvantage on attacks against them. Then it's Ziden's turn.
So were these two, like, up in the trees, or are they on the ground now?
They're up in the trees.
Well, it sucks to be them. Because there are now two giant spiders up in the trees with them.
Oh fuck!
Wonderful.
I believe you have control.
Hi.
There you go.
That's just great.
Hi!
Okay.
They got
Those
friends.
aren't
So-
terrifying or anything.
So, they're just sitting up there in the trees, weapons at the ready, probably pointed either at the guards or Ziden himself.
Okay.
I'd say the guards, since Ziden looks sort of like an old man, just with a walking stick.
Yep.
He waves his staff, sparkles of like nuts and leaves fly out in both directions, and there's a hissing from right behind each guy as giant spiders appear in their ear, next to their ears.
Okay.
And now I have to roll an initiative to put them on the tracker.
Yes.
And in a terrifying voice, the spiders both say,
Uh,
"Have you been naughty?"
they go on 8, which means they'll actually get a turn. Sweet.
Okay. There's giant skeletal goes here. There we go. It says bam. Alright. Sweet. Awesome. Anything else you want to do on your turn?
That was my main action. Let's actually take that off. And what do I have on bonus? I only have that on bonus and none's been hurt. I guess I will. If I'm like there, does that count as flanking?
I wouldn't say so. The tree is quite tall.
In which case, Ziden will just try and move to somewhere where he'd have cover, so like under this tree,
Okay.
basically.
Yeah.
To have cover from all of the ranged attacks.
That's fine. Okay. Bandits! So the two that are in the trees both simultaneously go "Ah!" as these spiders just spontaneously appear. Worst nightmare in the world. Frantically, they take up their hand axes and attempt to swipe at them. So the one on the left is going to try and swipe at the spider that's just spawned for him. Getting a 6, so that's nothing. And the other one is going to try and do the same to the other one. Getting a 15 to hit.
14 armor, yes.
Okay, so it deals 5 slashing damage as his little puny hand axe finds purchase.
You can almost hear the spider saying, "You shouldn't have done that."
He's trying, leave him alone. Okay, then the bandits, or this other bandit down the south here, is going to take up his crossbow, and he's going to aim it at the monk because he's just witnessed Tyrina destroy a bokoblin and is not exactly wanting to handle that. He's going to open fire. I don't think a 12 hits your AC. I'm sorry.
It does not.
They're trying their best.
What about the one to the north?
The one to the north is instead going to take something out of his back pouch, and he's going to lob it here. And then if I can get a draw shape going, there we go. This general area is suddenly consumed with smoke. This thick, pallid smoke. So can't see anything in there. And you can hear Raymond and the Hylian guards coughing and spluttering as it just suddenly very quickly expands. And that'll
Smoke bomb?
Yes, and that'll be his turn. Hikan.
Let's see. I could reach both of them, take care of them real quick. I'd have to make an athletics or acrobatics check to make it to that one.
Yeah.
This guy's in a bush, right? This is a bush.
That is a
up here
bush.
to the south. So.
Yeah, he's on ground level.
Would I have heard the smoke bomb?
You would hear the the coughing and the from the guards and Raymond, and the horses would have been startled by it as well.
Okay. Because everyone's pretty much engaged except the Bokoblins and the guard to the north and to the south. I'm gonna go to the guard to the south.
Okay.
Since he's in a bush, and that is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 feet of my movement. And I'm gonna sigh, and it's gonna be like, man, it's like no one can hit me. I'm standing still. And I take 2 unarmed strikes against this guy.
Okay.
For a total of 19 damage. Non-lethal.
Non-lethal. You just kind of, through the process of disarming every weapon that he has in his hands, and just kind of it's like these really practiced, precise moments that just hit like fucking trucks, and he just topples backwards to the ground unconscious.
Alright, cool. Since that was my action, I'm going to use my bonus action to spend a key point to use Step of the Wind.
Mm-hmm.
And, Bokoblins are Bokoblins. Tyrina's got those. I'm gonna start heading back up to the north, and that would be 65 feet of movement. So right there.
Okay.
Boom. Alright, and that will be my turn.
Okay. Renji, you're in a smoke cloud, Broheim.
Yeah. Letting out a bit of a cough. He's going to just step out, and then, having seen who threw the smoke bomb, is just holding up the rod of the Pact Keeper and letting out 2 bolts of Eldritch Blast energy.
Okay.
And I'm going to do the Eldritch Blast now. So that is a 19, and need to roll again for the second blast. That is a +7. That's a 26.
Yeah. That'll
I should have cursed him, but no.
That's fine.
So, roll a 1d10. So that's no, it's already 10 force damage. Never mind.
Yeah.
On him. Yep.
So just 10?
Just 10.
Okay. So you launch an attack against him. The the blast finds purchase in his shoulder. He howls in pain, but is barely cohesive enough to keep on his feet. Like it looks like he's very, like he's just hanging on with his fingertips.
And as he does so, I keep the rod still aimed at him and shout, I suggest you change your mind about attacking us. You're way outnumbered. Well, you're way outgunned.
Okay. Ziden, spiders.
Ranged weapon attacks in melee get disadvantage, right?
I believe so.
Okay, instead the spiders can each bite them. So left spider will bite first.
Okay.
That's probably not gonna hit.
No.
Right spider.
Also not.
Oh, these spiders aren't having a good time.
Oh, these
But
bandits.
they are quite intimidating, at least.
They are very intimidating. Like the fighting back those two bandits are doing is mainly out of fear. But yeah.
Can Ziden speak in the Skulltuller turn?
I'd say no, since it's technically not your turn, even though they are your creatures. Since they roll on it.
Give them the option to surrender, rather than share a tree with spiders.
Okay. Raymond's go.
By the way, I really want a beach episode or an aquatic fight episode now, simply because we can then have left shark and right shark.
Oh yeah. So you guys, you can't. No one can really see into the fog that this smoke bomb has created. Though you hear the whinny and peril of these horses. Renji, I'd like you to make a dexterity saving throw for me, please.
Really?
Yes.
Do I have to?
Yes, you do.
A dexterity saving throw. Oh boy. That's a 9.
That's a 9. Okay. So the reason why you had to make that save is because.
Oh, hold on.
Mm.
Hold on.
Mm.
That's a 10.
Oh yeah, because you've got your cloak. Okay. But yeah, the reason why you had to make that save, which you still sadly did not pass, is because bursting out from the smoke, you see two of the horses just friggin' bolt back down the road, and Raymond is latched on to one of their things, and they just boom, they disappear off the map.
Ow.
You are knocked by one of the horses as they pass. You take 1 bludgeoning damage and are knocked prone as the horse basically just shoulder checks you as it runs by.
I need to check something. Oh boy.
What's up?
Can
no.
Can I stop? Can I willingly stop a magical effect that I have on myself from harming a creature? Because I have 10 temporary hit points, and if a creature hits you with a melee attack while you have these hit points, the creature takes 10 cold damage.
And the HP of a horse is 13.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I almost killed a horse.
You almost killed a horse. Oh, that's a good question.
I don't want to kill a horse.
Ordinarily, I'd say yes, but you didn't see this coming.
Also, 10 is less than 13.
Yeah.
That is true, but I still don't want to hurt a horse.
You just be a bit cold, it's fine.
A bit cold.
Oh dear. But yeah, so that's...
I now have
Hmm?
9 temporary hit points.
Okay, on Tyreena's go, she's going to not go there. Wow, she can't go up there. Tyreena's kind of like, Oh, I have to fuck. All right, fine. And just she dashes over to this one and menaces it. But she can't attack on her turn because she has to use her action to get over there. So that'll be her turn. Just runs over and menaces this one bokoblin. Max.
Can I get up onto this rock
Yes.
easily? Okay.
Yeah.
Can I see this bokoblin from here?
Yes.
Cool. As I climb up, there's going to be a bunch of fire coming out the end of my staff as I throw a firebolt at this guy.
Oh. Their AC is 13 on the nose. So you deal 8 fire damage.
Yee.
Oh, I keep forgetting I have twin spell. Can I use that?
Sure.
I'm going to throw the other one because it has to be a different target at this guy in the tree with the giant spider.
Alright.
Wham!
That,
23 for 17 damage.
So this bandit is feeling really chuffed about the fact that he's fending off the spider, at which point there is a gaping hole in his chest where a firebolt just passes through and he falls out of the tree and is dead. This is just a gratuitous thump.
I'm having so much more luck against humans than the goblins,
Ah.
basically.
I think you can talk to the bokoblins at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Just gonna yell at that one over there that I tried to hit. You're next.
Is his response.
No, that was I said it in bokoblin.
Alright.
I speak Blin.
Oh, you speak Blin. Oh, so you do. So his response is, "Yeah, bring it on!" As in that same tone of voice. He's pumped. In fact, he's going to respond.
He's gonna regret that.
He's going to respond in kind by throwing a javelin at you. Whwa! And missing. Rolling a 10 on the attack roll. It just
gonna do the casual lean to the side out of the way of the javelin.
Yeah. Just thump hits the dirt behind you. Then this one down here is how far can you throw a javelin? Range 30 feet, so he can't really hit any. Oh, he can probably hit the spider in the other tree, so he's going to try and do that.
Does the spider in the other tree have color? Because it's in a tree.
Is in a tree. Let's see. I've forgotten what half cover does. I think like 2/3 cover is disadvantage, and then there's a. Let's see. Combat. Actions in combat, attack rolls, range attacks, melee attacks, opportunity, unseen attackers, cover. 3 degrees of cover. Half cover is +2 8 and bonus to AC and dexterity saving throws. Okay. So does a 16 hit the AC of a giant spider +2?
No, the AC is 14. So,
But the 16 is greater than 14.
as in the AC is 14 naturally.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh well.
Also, that would still hit because it's meat and beat.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yes.
Am I thinking of other
It's
saves?
it's advantage to the person who rolls the dice.
Yeah. So it's that's 4 points of piercing damage as it hits the spider, mildly annoying it, I suppose.
Oh no, they're down to 22.
These two are going to hurl javelins at Tyrina because they're the only target that they have. One misses. The other one hits, dealing 9 piercing damage. And then the other one is going to raise its cleaver and is going to attack her in melee. And missing. So she takes a javelin like a champ, like pulls it out of her arm, and then ducks to the side as the thing in front of her swings its cleaver. It'll be their turn. Hylian guards are going to exit the smoke cloud and cough and splutter. They're going to keep. They don't know if there are still horses in the smoke cloud, so they're going to keep where they are and act as defense. Ziden.
Zida's gonna shout up to the guy in the tree, trying to be kind of pleasant about it, being like, "Would you like to surrender and not face off 3 giant spiders?"
he's going to be really stupid and say 3, because he can only see the 1.
You think I don't have more?
Roll persuasion.
Can I have advantage?
Well, you do kind of have. He's got a spider in his face, so. He says, are you gonna call this one off, please?
Yep, giant spider, don't eat him.
Thank you. And he's going to resign himself to his fate and just kind of like hop out of the tree, and drop his weapons.
I'll pat him on the shoulder and say that was the right decision.
Yeah. And then the other bandit, who is kind of in a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, is going to fire a crossbow bolt at Renji.
You idiot.
17 does not hit your new AC.
It does not indeed.
Plinks off the iced-encrusted armor.
If I had my breastplate, it would have hit.
Yeah. But yeah, all the other bandits are dead, so you can't really do much about that. Oh, well, except for this one down the bottom. He was disabled non-lethally by Hikan, whose turn it is now.
Oh, no, I was muted. My bad.
Uh-huh.
So that guy's within 45 feet, so I'm gonna walk up to him, and it's gonna be like, he was laying down! I'm standing still, he's laying down! And I'm gonna hit him twice.
Okay. Boom, boom. Non-lethal.
Non-lethal.
You only really needed to poke him. He had 1 hit point left. It was just... do. And it's like, try, but... And he just knocked onto his back. Dealing with the final bandit. Who is, yeah. Anything else you want to do on your turn?
As I was kind of like saying that with my action, since there's 1 bandit left, it's like, can you call off the bokoblins? We kind of got rid of your friends.
It's you know how hard it is to tell bokoblins not to fight. They're kind of in the moment right now, and he's backed up with a chorus of from all of them. Just around the place. They're having the time of their life.
Okay, and I'm gonna use another key point to start to go back south, 55 feet, since that's my remaining movement, to start helping Tyrina with the blins in the south.
Okay.
And that will be my turn.
Okay. Renji.
Yes. Well, Renji is going to get up. That's half his movement. And then he's going to run, like getting his bearings again. He's going to run into the cloud of smoke.
Yep.
Or 15 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's going to close his eyes just for a moment. And as he opens his eyes, he pushes himself through the Twilight Realm for just a moment, and poofs out of the smoke cloud 30 feet using Misty Step.
Okay.
And with that in mind, he's then going to use Eldritch Blast that has a range of 120 feet. And he's going to shoot a bolt at this bokoblin over here.
Okay.
And the bokoblin that Tyrina is currently engaged with.
Okay.
So that is Eldritch Blast. First attack 21.
Okay. So that's 12 damage.
And then I believe plus 8. And that's 16 for the one near Tyrina.
Okay, that's also a hit.
So the first takes 8 damage, the other takes 4 damage.
Okay. That's...
And as I do so, I shout, "Flee or be consumed."
Okay, not unsettling at all.
Oh.
Okay, but yeah, they will react to that on their turn. Ziden, you have a pair of spiders still, I notice.
Yes. This spider will jump down to here, say,
Mm-hmm.
and it will shoot a swarm of webbing at this bokoblin up in a tree
Ah,
for a 13 to hit.
okay.
Why does that have damage on it? I don't know.
I don't know.
Never mind that.
I might be like the way it was auto macroed. It might be that it's its HP or something like that. Don't know.
It's dexterity. Anyway,
Yeah, it's
13 to hit.
13 to hit. So that is that is a hit. So it needs to make a DC.
No, it's just straight up restrained.
Oh,
it
it
only
is
makes
just restrained.
that's its action.
Oh man.
Also roll a d6 to see if that recharges for that one. It does. Wonderful.
Wow. Spiders are
Let's
good.
see. Spiders are good. Why do you think I summoned them?
Remember when they kicked our asses before in a different game?
Oh yeah. It also does make sense that spiders do have generated PTSD early on for the gang in this one as well.
It's only because I rolled a nat 1 on initiative and got spooked.
Okay. So
I
that
got
spider can't web the other bokoblin. So it'll just web the one that's fighting Tyrina.
Okay.
For 18.
Yeah, so that was
Nice.
restrained as well.
And 1d6. It does not recharge.
Okay.
Tyrina, you have a restrained poor little bokoblin.
Restrained. Conditions are...
I believe attacks against it are automatically crits.
That's paralyzed.
Okay.
Restrained creature speed becomes 0 and it can't benefit from any bonus to its speed. Attack rolls against creature have advantage and the creature's attack rolls have disadvantage. And the creature has disadvantage on dexterity saving throws.
Okay.
So it is easier to hit and has a hard time hitting other people, but the main gist of it is that it cannot move from its spot. So Tyrina will take full advantage of that and go for the big swing with her own attack. So she's going to use her Great Weapon Mastery attack on this goblin, getting a 16 and destroying it with one swing. And then proceed getting 16 damage, and then proceeding to move over here and doing the same on this one, though this time not with advantage and missing, sadly. But yeah, that'll be Tyrina's go. Max.
Yeah, Max really wants this king dead. He says something in Draconic, so no one can really understand it, but it, as usual, sounds incredibly angry.
Mm-hmm.
And then he fires a level 2 Witch Bolt. 28 for 22 lightning damage.
Okay.
Some of the sparks probably almost hit that guard that's quite near him.
Yeah.
Can we just say oof?
You kind of just, yeah, you aim your fury at this thing, and an explosion of electricity, a freshly fried, partially webbed bokoblin just tumbles out of the tree.
Now just hop down from this rock, pat the spider on the way past. I believe that's kind of as far as I can go.
Okay. Then it is the bokoblin's turn. There's only 3 of them left, but they don't appear to have any desire to surrender, because this is great. This is lots of fun. So the one in the tree is gonna throw a javelin at, what targets does he have? So he can only throw it 30 feet. So he can get Max. He can get Renji. And Renji was the last person who fired something at him, so he's going to return the favor with a stick.
Ah,
It's 24 to hit.
Never mind.
For 7
that is
piercing damage.
7 piercing damage.
Yeah.
Oof. And as the javelin hits me, there's just these sudden bursts of cold, frigid air coming off of me, but doing no actual harm.
Yep. Okay. Then this Bokoblin's going to swing its cleaver at Tyrina, getting a 23 to hit for 9 damage, which does indeed hit. If I can actually select Tyrina's target. Oh wait, I'm on the wrong mouse icon. Okay. So she takes 9 damage. Okay. And then the other one is going to wheel around here. They're too excited to think about flanking, and will cleaver Tyrina again. Getting a crit for not 20, for
11.
11. Thank you. For 11 points of damage. Tyrina grits her teeth as she weathers the blows and prepares to bring her axe up to bear. The guards are still going to resume their spots. They have been paid to guard the horses, and that is what they shall do. Ziden.
See how far. Need to zoom out a sec. Oh, there. Yeah. Ziden will peek out from around the tree and aim at. Was either of them hit yet?
No, they are fresh.
Yeah, aim at the left one and shoot an arrow. 5 damage.
5 damage.
Pew!
The arrow lands, makes its mark, slams right into the shoulder of the goblin, who stumbles back, still giggling like a moron, and continues to resume its focus on the paladin before it.
Let's see, can I move? I would move to this cover here.
Okay. Bandits have either been killed, knocked out, or surrendered. Hikan.
Alright, so I take a look to the Bokoblin on the left that I know I could totally get to. But then I notice that Renji and Max are over there. It's like, alright, they got distance. They can handle that one. Tyrina's looking pretty banged up. So I use my movement to run over here, so that way I can hit both of them.
Okay.
Opposed to trying to go for flanking or anything like that. And I will hit the one on the left first.
Okay.
Unarmed strike, 26 for 6.
Okay, that hits, and you smack it across the back of the head. It's still standing, though.
Alright, one more unarmed strike to it. That's
Okay.
a crit for 10.
Lethal or non-lethal?
These are the Bokoblins. They're not listening. They're being jerks.
Yeah.
So yeah, these will be lethal.
Okay, so you kind of palm strike at the back of it again, and you feel a snap at the base of its skull, at which point it topples to the floor, leaving just the one Bokoblin.
Yep, and then because I'm already there, I will go ahead and use Flurry of Blows.
Mhm.
That is 21 for 7,
That's a hit.
and 23 for 8.
That is a hit, and it finishes it off. Let's kind of do your sweeping series of attacks, and you feel more crunching of bone beneath its flesh, and it too just loses cohesion and falls to the floor.
And then because I got extra 10 feet of movement for using Flurry of Blows, I'll go right there.
All right.
And that's my turn.
Okay. Renji.
Right, with the Bokoblin taking aim at me, I feel some sort of some recoil from the javelin as it sticks me, and then I point my rod of the Pact Keeper at it, and his ears are filled with a piercing scream of a Twilight Messenger. Toll the dead. If Roll20 would want to load.
If it would like to
Yeah,
come
man.
up. It's like, no, I'm really enjoying it.
It's building up the tension.
There we go. That's the first one then.
Okay.
A DC 16 Wisdom saving throw.
Okay. D16 wisdom saving throw. I don't fancy its chances. Nope.
16 points of necrotic damage.
Yeah. It's not having a good day. In fact, it is having the worst day for it. The hideous sounds cause it to almost. Well, what is the flavor text of when something perishes to toll the dead for you?
Ooh. I'm curious myself because do creatures that are killed by my magic rather than my magical weapon get ported to the harvester as well?
Give me 2 seconds.
Assume so.
Yes.
Ooh.
Okay. Well, in that case, as the piercing screeches of the Twilight Messengers fill their ears, their eardrums just pop, and you can just see how this pressure, this sound pressure, just pushes everything closer together, and then it falls apart in these particles of Twilight energy.
Awesome. As it disintegrates and is sent forth to your patron, you are left with what remains of the battlefield, and after a brief moment and a light gust of wind, the smoke clears, and you are now down 2 horses and a Raymond, and that is where we will end the session for today.
Okay.
Okay, there was a sudden silence. I was like, have I just literally disconnected right as we were
No,
calling?
sorry.
Yeah, no. The only thing that I was gonna do after that was have the Hylian guards try to go find Ramon. I was going to tie up the bandits, and then I was going to grab the javelins and ask Tyrina if she can use them. Because
Oh, we don't need to tie up this bandit. We just need to do this.
The spiders can provide the rope.
Yeah.
Just web them.
We'll just provide the concept of a rope.
Yeah, precisely. But yes, this has been ArticulateT. Thank you guys very much for listening / watching. And hey, we got through an entire session and there was very few technical difficulties, at least none that caused it to close.
Just
Awesome.
Discord being a bitch.
Just Discord being a bitch. I will have to remember to do a quick edit, usual sort of music shop thing on that. But anyway. I am I am the GM ArticulateT, and with me I have had Alvarance playing Hikan.
I'm gonna save Lon Lon Ranch by sacrificing 3 bandits to a dark nut.
Yay!
I also had TheNetherlad playing Renji, son of Daius.
My patron has had a tiny little snack.
Yeah. I've had Rubber Pirate playing Ziden Shari.
Ziden would have been the 3rd spider if he hadn't agreed.
Yeah. I was expecting you to be like, it was like, well, I only see 2, and then you see blah. Ah! I'm playing Max and Keastreth. Okay.
I've run out of ideas.
That's fine. And hopefully next time we will have SteveTheSeregios playing Sho Daius. But in the meantime, thank you for listening. Goodbye.
Goodbye.